He transmigrated into the book as a villainous male supporting character, and towards the end of his mission, his CEO wife, Qing Yao, suddenly gained the ability to read minds. Unaware he was still diligently playing out the plot, she wanted to divorce him unless he died. Inwardly, he was complaining, "Hurry and throw the divorce papers in his face. You and the white moonlight are locked. Don't delay my billion reward." Unexpectedly, his CEO wife's temperament drastically changed, and she announced to the media that she was pregnant and that they would absolutely not divorce. Jiayin stormed into the gathering of his wife Qing Yao and her white moonlight Lian Yue, picked up a glass of wine, and without another word, splashed it in Lian Yue's face. Qing Yao, mindful of the others present, couldn't get angry and pulled him to the restroom to clean up. According to the book's progression, she would immediately bring up divorce because of his unreasonable behavior. Then after he pestered her a few more times, making her completely disgusted with him, he'd be able to complete the mission successfully and get the billion reward. Thinking about becoming a billionaire soon, the corners of his mouth were harder to suppress than an AK. A person at the table kindly reminded him, "Geez, are you overstimulated?" He quickly straightened his face, putting on a sorrowful appearance. Qing Yao entered through the door at this moment. He rolled his eyes, crossed his arms, and arrogantly asked, "I didn't even do much to him. Is it worth all this fuss? Qing Yao, do you even know I'm your husband?" Qing Yao looked at him expressionlessly, her eyes dark and unfathomable. But he was secretly getting excited. "Quick, quick, scold me. Then warn me that if I dare bully the white moonlight again, you'll kill me." Qing Yao first asked the other friends to leave, then walked towards him and calmly said, "I was just concerned about a friend. Don't misunderstand." What? This wasn't how the plot was supposed to go. He bit the bullet and smashed a glass, coldly sneering. "I'm telling you, don't think that Lian Yue's return means you can be together with him. Want to divorce me? Unless I die." But inwardly he was surprised and uncertain. "I'm acting this badly, and you can still tolerate it? Quick, bring up divorce, and then throw the divorce papers you prepared in my face. You and the white moonlight are locked. Don't delay my billion reward." Unexpectedly, Qing Yao smiled slightly, staring at him with great interest. "Jiayin, what are you thinking? I love you. How could I divorce you?" He froze on the spot as if struck by lightning. What's going on? Isn't she supposed to love the white moonlight the most? There must have been a step that went wrong. Let me think. While he was frowning and pondering, Qing Yao walked up to him, wrapped her arms around his waist, and snuggled into his embrace. His whole body stiffened, and the fragrance from her body filled his nose. She giggled and said, "Jiayin, I was bad before, but from now on, I want to be with you forever." "No way, you got it all wrong. I'm just a villainous supporting character. The white moonlight Lian Yue is your true match." 3 years ago, he transmigrated into this melodramatic novel, becoming the villainous male supporting character who was in love with the female lead Qing Yao. After her white moonlight left, he took advantage of the situation and married her. Then, after the white moonlight returned, he used every means possible, and in the end reaped the consequences. The male and female leads then lived happily ever after. In order to complete his mission and get the billion reward, he was truly dedicated, never slacking for a moment, and even acting more hateful than in the original plot. Everything had been normal for 3 years. He is Qing Yao's devoted lapdog, but Qing Yao is a stone that can't be warmed, always longing for her white moonlight. She utterly loathed his every action. Until 3 days before Lian Yue returned to China, she fell while mountain climbing, hitting her head and falling into a coma. After waking up, she was a little different. Back home, she burned all things related to Lian Yue, and now her attitude towards Lian Yue doesn't seem as passionate as described in the book. Could it be that my acting today was too bad, and Qing Yao saw through my charade? Impossible. I can't doubt my acting in anything. Even the system, which had been dead for a long time, praised my acting talent as extraordinary, sometimes even wanting to smack me after watching. If it's not my problem, then it's Lian Yue's problem. He hasn't been tortured enough. "Honey, why aren't you answering me?" Qing Yao pressed her entire body against him, her hands secretly slipping inside his shirt. His body stiffened, and he pressed down on her restless hand. Wasn't she always unwilling to get close to me before? If this keeps up, it's going to be rated. I'm not good at acting out passionate scenes. To be honest, Qing Yao has fair skin, a beautiful face, a slender waist, and long legs. If I did that kind of thing with her, I wouldn't be at a loss. She chuckled softly, biting his Adam's apple. Can't hold back anymore. He screamed internally. Qing Yao frowned and kissed his lips. So noisy. Boom, boom, boom. Only his heartbeat remained. Just as Qing Yao was about to take it further, the door to the private room opened. Lin Yue stood at the door, his face pale, his eyes deep. What a great opportunity. Jiayin grabbed Qing Yao's waist and kissed her until they had threads of saliva between them, then provocatively looked at Lin Yue. Lin Yue, what do you think you are? I am Qing Yao's husband. The male lead has finally arrived. Let's see how I torture you to death. Lin Yue pursed his lips without moving, looking embarrassed and wronged, shouting, when you used to chase me around saying you liked me, was it all fake? Qing Yao's tone was cold, which made him even more confused. In the book, Qing Yao should be deeply in love with Lin Yue, unable to live without him. Jiayin, I know you have resentment, but I had no choice when I was abroad. I was thinking about you every moment. I hope that when I come back this time, I can make up for the mistakes I made. We could be together in the future. I have a husband now. Qing Yao interrupted him mercilessly. Lin Yue covered his chest and coughed, looking very pitiful. Qing Yao lightly punched Jiayin and whispered a complaint. What are you looking at? Then, without even glancing at Lin Yue, she continued. You can see that my husband and I have a great relationship. I only came to this dinner party because an old classmate invited me. My husband is temperamental and gets jealous easily, and I don't want him to misunderstand. Has Qing Yao taken the wrong medicine? This is the white moonlight you've been thinking about for 3 years. Please reconcile with him quickly. I should be finished with this. I want money. His heart was in turmoil. Qing Yao, however, pinched his waist and glared at him. He hissed softly, which seemed more like flirting from Lin Yue's perspective. Lin Yue took a deep breath, looking like he was about to break. Qing Yao, are you serious? Have you forgotten how he used tricks to make you marry him 3 years ago? Qing Yao raised her eyes and looked at Lin Yue amusedly. Speaking of this matter, I'd like to ask you. You keep saying you love me, but when my family's business was in trouble and I needed you the most, where were you? Lin Yue was rendered speechless by the question. Qing Yao took his hand and walked towards the door. As they brushed past each other, Lin Yue grabbed her wrist, his eyes slightly red. Qing Yao, please give me one more chance, okay? His voice trembled slightly. Unexpectedly, Qing Yao let go of Jiayin and unhurriedly pried his hand away, coldly replying, the thing I hate the most is eating leftover grass. Mr. Lin Yue, please have some self-respect. Lin Yue stood there dumbfounded, his figure forlorn. Jiayin was also stunned. How did the plot collapse like this? A warning bell went off in my head. Qing Yao wouldn't actually have fallen in love with me, would she? Then how am I supposed to complete the mission? Don't panic, don't panic. The female leads are usually just stubborn. You two are so dramatic. Without me, you'd break up sooner or later. Qing Yao clicked her tongue in dissatisfaction. You still have time to worry about others. Stop looking. In the back seat of the car, Qing Yao's hand began to wander again, her breath occasionally brushing against his neck. While pushing her away, he whispered, the driver is still in the front. She laughed. Then just don't make a sound. With that, her hand moved downwards. He gasped and quickly grabbed it. Has Qing Yao taken the wrong medicine or something? Usually her face is like a dead person's when she looks at me. It makes me lose all interest. Sometimes I can't help but complain about how blind a female lead is, not wanting a handsome CM guy like me and instead wanting that heartless, ungrateful man. Qing Yao's expression changed. Then she started acting spoiled towards him. I've only realized today how handsome you really are, so much better than Lin Yue. He proudly raised his face. Of course, she was amused by his cocky behavior. I'm very clear-headed, you know. I haven't taken any medicine. I know what I'm doing. He thought it was strange. Qing Yao is just the female lead in the book. She doesn't have any special abilities. It feels like she can read minds. Thinking about this, he told himself to relax and quickly change the subject. You hit your head a few days ago. The doctor told you to rest. Let's get some rest early. She looked at him thoughtfully, then nodded in agreement. After a moment, he was finally relieved. She must have really injured her brain a few days ago. She'll be fine in a few days. The next day, he went to Qing Yao's company. When he saw Lin Yue in the meeting room, he raised an eyebrow, not at all surprised. It seems yesterday was just an accident. The plot is still intact. Lin Yue suddenly said, I didn't have time to look closely yesterday, but looking at you today, you really do look a lot like me. A substitute trope, I know this well. He's trying to provoke me. He went along with it and furiously pointed at Lin Yue, yelling, How could you ever compare to me? I'm Qingyao's real husband. You're nothing more than a third party. The person who isn't loved is the third party. You know who Qingyao loves in her heart better than I do. Lin Yue retorted without holding back. I didn't expect this kid to be so good at provoking people. Jiayin grabbed his collar, feigning a punch. The sound of high heels came closer. Lin Yue gave him a meaningful smile, then fell backward. The tea on the table spilled everywhere. His back also hit the corner of the table, drawing blood. This guy is too green tea. I didn't even have to do anything, and he acted out the whole scene himself. The next second, Qingyao's surprised voice rang out. What happened? Lin Yue endured the pain and quickly said, Qingyao, it was my fault. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Jiayin understood immediately. He immediately put on a stern face and said, I pushed him. What? Qingyao, are you feeling sorry for him? If I ever see you bothering my wife again, I'll beat you every single time. Lin Yue's eyes welled up with tears, and his hands clenched into fists at his sides. How could Qingyao not feel sorry for him looking like this? Next, Qingyao should scold me, right? I've bullied her white moonlight like this. If she can still tolerate it. Is she even human? Just as he was thinking this, Qingyao gave a look and the secretary came in to help Lin Yue up. But Qingyao put her arm around Jiayin and said affectionately, I'll listen to my husband. Both Lin Yue and Jiayin were dumbfounded. Lin Yue clearly didn't want to give up and was dragged away with an unwilling expression. Jiayin also didn't want to let it go so easily, and seeing this, he immediately added fuel to the fire. Lin Yue, you see? Stop daydreaming. With your small build, you better walk around me next time, or I'm afraid I'll push you again and you'll disappear. Lin Yue stopped in his tracks as if he suddenly remembered something, and immediately grabbed Qingyao's sleeve, saying with difficulty, Qingyao, the reason I came back this time was to tell you that I have stomach cancer. The doctor said I have at most 3 months left. The terminal illness must be fake, but this move works well. Now Qingyao should feel sorry for him. Sure enough, Qingyao was stunned for a moment. Really? Lin Yue smiled bitterly and nodded. Look at me. I've become so thin. Jiayin immediately followed up. I can vouch for that. He falls over with just one push. Qingyao glanced at him with an unreadable expression. Jiayin cleared his throat, finding a perfect excuse to get away. Since that's the case, I'm not that petty of a person. You guys should have a good chat. I have things to do. I'll go first. His heart was filled with excitement. They finally have time alone. Lin Yue, make me proud. Use your charm to conquer Qingyao. Waiting for the divorce, billion. Yari Komiai. This time Lin Yue really didn't disappoint him. The next day, the video of Qingyao going back to the apartment with him became a trending topic. Qingyao, with her image as a beautiful and strong woman, had always been very popular on social media. Her off-again childhood sweetheart relationship was often brought up as something to reminisce about. Not only that, but the videos of Jiayin throwing wine at Lin Yue at the club and Lin Yue being pushed down at the company were all uploaded to the internet. There were several reporters waiting outside his door, and when he went out, they pestered him with questions. One reporter asked him, Mr. Jiayin, what do you have to say about the matter between Ms. Qingyao and Lin Yue? He dutifully played the role of a stumbling block in the face of true love and replied resentfully, what is there to say about marital infidelity and a third party knowingly being involved? That reporter continued to ask, but I heard that you used underhanded means to marry Ms. Qingyao back then. Now that true love has returned, they're a perfect match. Don't you think you're being a bit excessive by using emotion to hold Ms. Qingyao hostage? Jiayin kept a straight face, but inwardly gave this little reporter a thumbs up. Back then, Lin Yue abandoned Qingyao when she was at her lowest point, leaving her helpless. Everyone in the circle knows about this, don't you? She was stumped by his question, and after a moment she asked again, It's well known that you and President Qingyao have a bad relationship. You've never even spent an anniversary together. Why do you want to maintain this marriage that exists in name only? I don't want to, he roared inwardly. But on the surface, he had to continue playing his role, so he snorted coldly and walked away without looking back, creating an image of stubborn loneliness. This excerpt of the interview also quickly went viral online. Many people cursed him. This man is disgusting. He clearly took advantage of the situation and used tricks to marry Qingyao. Now he's acting like a victim. He's not even comparable to Lian Yue in any way. Lian Yue is the white moonlight of Qingyao. The two parties involved haven't even spoken yet, and he's already jumping up and down like a clown. Why isn't Qingyao saying anything? I want to see Qingyao ruthlessly slap him in the face. Things have gotten this bad, and he still won't agree to a divorce. I think he's just after money. What a shameless person. His fingers scrolled through the comments cursing him, and his mood was a bit complex. Thinking about the 3 years he spent as a doormat, he really was devoted to Qingyao. If she didn't want to go on a date with him, he'd wait downstairs at her office building half a day early. When she got drunk, he'd be the driver to take her home. She would always use business trips to avoid their wedding anniversaries, so he would go to the place she was traveling to and wait until she couldn't find any more excuses. Then we'd eat a meal together, and he'd take the earliest flight back the next day. If he didn't have the perspective of someone who knew the future, being so wholeheartedly devoted to someone and getting nothing in return would be really heartbreaking. But now, instead of lamenting the fate of a male supporting character, it's better to celebrate his impending task completion, because in the book, the final ending for his male supporting character was that after Qingyao rekindled her old relationship with Lian Yue, he continued to stir up trouble, trying to manipulate public opinion against Lian Yue, but instead, he was cyberbullied and faded away sadly. Right now, they've probably gotten back together, and he's also being cyberbullied. Completing the mission is just around the corner. He even hoped they'd curse him even more fiercely. The more hateful he was, the more sympathy would elicit from the public for Lian Yue. Qingyao called him. In the call, she cautiously asked if the negative public opinion was hurting him. He sniffled and said viciously, "Qingyao, stop pretending. Let me tell you, as long as I'm around, that Lian Yue will always be a dirty little mistress." He could hear Lian Yue's voice coming from the receiver vaguely. "Qingyao, I'm content just to be able to be with you like this." His heart stirred with another wave of excitement. Wow, they're living together already. Lian Yue's doing all right. "Qingyao, hurry up and divorce me. My billion is just waiting on your divorce papers." Qingyao suddenly got angry, her voice rising. "Say that again." Without hesitation, he hung up the phone, thinking it would make her even angrier, resulting in her divorcing him in a fit of rage. Perfect. But after 3 days, Qingyao hadn't come home, let alone talk about divorce. He figured maybe that Lian Yue wasn't doing enough. He had to step in himself. An idea sparked. He registered a social media account and posted 3 misleading updates. "Come on, I'm Jiayin. Those who want to curse me, gather here. Do you think I'll cave to cyberbullying? Bullshit. True love. I'll stick with Qingyao for life. Let's see who can outlast who, ha ha ha. Qingyao, you want to be with your white moonlight? Dream on. Lian Yue, you're a bug. Why don't you just die instantly?" This made things even more chaotic. His phone number was leaked, and he was bombarded with calls, messages, and even money transfers. He put his phone on airplane mode, causing him to miss Qingyao's statement. The next morning, the home phone rang. It was his secretary telling him to quickly check the trending topics. "President Jiayin, you finally picked up? President Qingyao announced that you're going to be a father." His brain froze for a moment. He frantically opened Qingyao's profile. Last night, Qingyao posted an ultrasound picture with a caption, "My husband was just afraid of losing me. That's why he went crazy on social media. Please understand, our relationship is great, and we'll welcome our new life together. We will definitely not divorce. Please be respectful and don't spread rumors, or I won't hesitate to take legal action." This completely blew up the topic. Qingyao and his name were still at the top of the charts after one night. No one would have thought that Qingyao, who always subtly reminisced about the past on social media, would actually have a child with me and publicly express her love for me. In that case, Lian Yue is definitely the third party. I think he's the most scheming one. Move along, move along. White moonlight has become black moonlight. The second lead takes over, and they live happily ever after. We laughed at his madness. He laughs at our ignorance. Enough said. Wish them well. This completely threw him off. This plotline wasn't in the book. He immediately rushed to Qingyao's office. She was sitting at her desk reading documents, and when she looked up at him, she was as calm as ever. "No need to thank me. We're family. It's the least I could do." His chest heaved violently. He roared inwardly, "Thank you, my ass. Divorce. I want a divorce. What's with this child you mentioned? Except for the time when Qingyao was out of her mind a few days ago, I haven't touched her at all in the last 3 years. There's no way she could be pregnant." She smiled, tilting her head and blinking her eyes, asking, "Not having one now doesn't mean we won't have one in the future. Haven't you always wanted to have a child with me?" He was stunned speechless. "If you don't want to claim the female lead for yourself, then are you still a villainous second male lead?" "I'm just acting." "Well, how did you actually believe it?" Qingyao stood up, walked to his side, gently touching his face, and said with a hint of emotion, "Jiayin, I really know I was wrong. You're the one who's always been good to me. I'll love you like you love me in the future. I will protect you. You're not allowed to go anywhere." He feigned emotion. "Wife, I finally waited for you." But inside he was roaring. Qingyao really fell in love with me? Qingyao really fell in love with me. What should I do? What about my billion? Is it gone just like that? Just then, a commotion came from the door. Lin Yue pushed past the secretary's attempts to stop him and burst in. "You wouldn't see me, so I had no choice but to invite myself in." Qingyao curled her lip and chuckled. "What? Not faking a terminal illness anymore?" Sigh this Lin Yue. If only his acting were half as good as mine. He would have won the beauty long ago. Jiayin went out with the secretary once again, leaving them alone together. Success or failure, it all depends on this one try. Just in case, he hid outside the door to eavesdrop. Lin Yue lowered his head, his hands clenched at his sides, still unwilling to give up. "It was wrong of me to lie to you, but I just love you too much." "Do you really have a child with Jiayin? Aren't you supposed to love me the most?" "Mr. Lin Yue," Qingyao didn't give him any face, her tone icy. "I think I made myself very clear before. I love my husband and I want to have his child. Your actions have made me very angry, especially arranging for reporters to smear my husband. If it weren't for our past relationship, you wouldn't even have a chance to stand in front of me." "Qingyao, is that really how you see me?" Lin Yue forced a smile, his expression aggrieved. "It's only been 3 years, you've really changed a lot. You actually believe Jiayin? Don't you know what kind of person he is? He's been targeting me, and you're still helping him. Don't let him deceive you." Lin Yue was right. According to Qingyao's character setting in the book, she would unconditionally trust Lin Yue and despise someone as vicious as me. Why is Qingyao protecting me in every single word? "Are you done?" Qingyao pulled out a check, filled it out with a pen, and handed it to Lin Yue. "Do you think I don't know about your little plan? You abandoned me when my family fell into decline, and now you see my comeback and want to benefit from me? Let me tell you, there's no such thing. Take this million and get lost." "What's going on? Isn't this million supposed to be what Qingyao gives me when we divorce? Shouldn't I be the one getting lost? Why is it Lin Yue? Lin Yue, if you're a man, refuse it." Who would have thought that Lin Yue really wasn't a man? He hesitated for a moment and then took it. The next second, right in front of Qingyao, he tore the check in half. "Qingyao, it's okay if you don't believe me. I have a way to make you believe me." He then walked towards the door. Jiayin didn't have time to retreat and bumped right into him. His eyes were red as he glared at him, his expression indignant. While he was still stunned, Lin Yue had already run off. After a while, the secretary rushed in to report, "It's bad. Mr. Lin Yue is on the roof, saying he wants to die to prove himself." Qingyao and Jiayin rushed to the roof, where Lin Yue stood at the edge of the terrace, looking like he had lost all hope in life. There were already crowds of onlookers below. Qingyao's face was grave. She kept telling him not to be impulsive, that they could talk things out. Jiayin was already dissatisfied with his poor acting, which had completely deviated from the plot. Now he was pulling this stunt. Wasn't he just pushing Qingyao further away? While Lin Yue was trying to appeal to Qingyao emotionally, Jiayin grabbed him, pulled him down. He poured out all his pent-up frustration into a fist and punched him hard in the face. "You're playing some kind of pathetic, self-sacrificial act. It's unbearable to watch. It's all because you're too incompetent. I can't carry you. I created so many opportunities for you. Why are you so useless? Now look, my billion is about to become a pipe dream." It's all because of you, this Jinx. It wasn't until the security guards rushed over that they pulled them apart. While bandaging their wounds in the hospital, they just stared at each other. Remembering Lin Yue's almost but not kitwilling-toady attitude from earlier, Jiayin scoffed and suddenly recalled what the system had said at the beginning. If the plot really couldn't go on, he actually had one last trick up his sleeve, a fake death. His part in the storyline was already finished. As long as he could exit, the mission would be complete. Qing Yao had been worryingly fussing over him the whole time, while Lin Yue, unable to bear it any longer, walked away with a dejected expression, his arm in a sling. Taking advantage of Qing Yao being on the phone, Jiayin ran to stop him. Hey, how about we join forces? No choice, I have to carry the team. The next day, Qing Yao received news that the two of them had been kidnapped. The kidnappers who were hired told Jiayin, everything is going according to plan. Qing Yao has already left the house with the ransom money. Lin Yue was still a bit skeptical. She definitely won't save me. I don't understand what the point of your plan is. Is that why you can't win her heart? Jiayin rolled his eyes at him. The only person who can help you now is me. In reality, this was also a grand fake death performance that he had set up for himself. If he was gone, maybe Lin Yue and Qing Yao would have a chance to get back together. Qing Yao arrived quickly. Let them go. I'll agree to any condition. Following the plan, the kidnapper stated his terms. Sorry, Miss Qing Yao, you can only save one of these two people. You choose. What? That's not what you said on the phone. Qing Yao was shocked. Stop talking nonsense. If you don't agree, I'll kill them both. The kidnapper continued to recite his lines. Qing Yao looked troubled. Let me think about it. Jiayin gave Lin Yue a look. Lin Yue understood, putting on a look of deep affection mingled with a willingness to die. Qing Yao, I know you won't choose me. Let me just die. I wish you and Jiayin eternal happiness. He even managed to squeeze out a few tears. I have to admit, my green tea acting skills are no match for Lin Yue's. The kidnapper asked Jiayin, Mr. Jiayin, what about you? Do you have anything to say? Qing Yao stared at him intently. He smiled at her and said, Qing Yao, I'm afraid I can't be with you anymore. Goodbye. Right after that, the warehouse where they were being held started to shake. The building is collapsing. Run. The kidnapper was the first to react, shouting loudly. Qing Yao grabbed his hand and ran toward the exit with Lin Yue close behind. Just as they reached the door, Jiayin broke free of Qing Yao's hand and pushed Lin Yue forward. Under her incredulous gaze, Jiayin vanished into the rumble of the collapsing structure. The last thing he heard was her heart-wrenching cry. He wasn't dead, of course. This warehouse was carefully selected by him, and he had buried some explosives underneath it. With one explosion, the building would naturally become unstable. He had also arranged a tunnel at the exit. On the surface, it looked like he was buried in the rubble, but in reality, he escaped through the tunnel. After successfully faking his death, he roared to the sky, I'm finally free. The system suddenly spoke up. Host, are you happy? Jiayin was startled and immediately cursed. You son of a bitch, you finally show up. Hurry up and give me my billion. The system said, the money is already in your account. You haven't answered my question yet. Of course I'm happy. I finally don't have to act in a melodramatic soap opera anymore. Do you know how much I've been holding back these past 3 years? He still felt a little guilty towards Qing Yao. After all, he lied to her. He chose the billion. Later, he comforted himself, saying that normal people would choose this way, and maybe she and Lin Yue's relationship had already warmed up by now. He lived a carefree life for a while. To completely bid farewell to the past, he forbade the system from revealing any information about Qing Yao and Lin Yue to him. One day, the system, being its usual nosy self, asked him, Host, do you think Qing Yao is someone who gives up easily? He shook his head and sighed. If she gave up that easily, she wouldn't have liked Lin Yue for so many years. Wait, are you implying something, system? You're overthinking it, host. He squinted, lying back on the rocking chair, swinging his feet. I'm completely dead with no loose ends. Even if Qing Yao found out, what could she do? The world is so big, where would she find me? As soon as the words fell, a woman's voice came from behind him. Jiayin, you were hard to find. He slipped and fell to the ground with a thud. What the hell is going on, you stupid system? Why didn't you notify me? Host, you told me not to say more. After that accident, Qing Yao searched every inch of the earth and couldn't find your body. She didn't believe you were dead at all and has been looking for you. Qing Yao walked toward him step by step with a smile. What should I do, damn it? Qing Yao, did I owe her something in my past life? Is she acting like a female lead should? Otherwise, I'll pretend I don't know her. There are many people in the world who look alike. He was about to speak when Qing Yao interrupted him. She put a finger to his lips. Are you planning to pretend you don't know me? I advise you to give up on that early. I'd recognize you even if you turned to ashes. How'd she know? Qing Yao straightened up, looking down at him. After hitting my head in that mountain climbing accident, I developed the ability to read your mind. Jiayin, stop your inner monologue. It's too noisy. Qing Yao frowned. I didn't believe it. Qing Yao is a big liar. Her face darkened and her tone became heavier. You try saying another word. Okay, she really had mind-reading abilities. No wonder her personality changed drastically after she woke up from her coma. Then wouldn't all my inner thoughts be completely laid bare to her? How embarrassing. I was boasting about my acting skills, but I never imagined I was being played in the palm of her hand by Qing Yao. I have a question. Ask, how did you suddenly become so obsessed with me? Could it be because you think it's fun to hear my thoughts? She slowly opened her mouth. While I was in a coma, I had a dream. I dreamt that after Lin Yue returned to the country, I was fixated on being with him, and I hated you. Even if you repeatedly reminded me that Lin Yue was not a good person, I would just be cold towards you. Later, I finally got what I wanted and was with Lin Yue. I found out that he was just using me, and later spent all his time in debauchery, colluding with his mistress to kill me. After I died, you were the only one who came to see me every year. When I realized everything was unfolding according to the plot in my dreams, I knew it wasn't a dream. It was my memories from a past life. Jiayin, you are the one person worth cherishing for a lifetime. System, get out here and tell me what's going on. Why is the plot I know different from hers? The system remained silent. Qing Yao smiled again. Don't look for it. I told it to get lost. Jiayin, I know no less than you now. You can't beat me. Her determined look was quite attractive. He scratched his head, but I'm just a villainous male supporting character. You should be with the male lead, Lin Yue. How can I steal a woman from the male lead? The more he said, the quieter his voice became. Qing Yao's voice grew. My life is my own, not something written by someone else. These past 3 years, although I didn't say it on the surface, my heart has been falling for you little by little. I fell in love with you a long time ago. Jiayin, you are the one and only male lead in my life. Let's not be bound by the plot, okay? Besides, it's just a mere billion. I can give you double that. That day, the sun was perfect. Qing Yao's smile was beautiful, and Jiayin nodded without thinking. Quick, curse me. All right, it's settled then. If you run again, I'll get serious with you. Qing Yao warned, leaning on his shoulder. His heart was in turmoil again. Qing Yao gritted her teeth. Are you going to curse again? He forgot. He quickly started reciting ancient poetry. When he reached the recitation of Moonlight in front of the bed, Qing Yao couldn't take it anymore and yelled angrily, Keep reciting. Then she kissed him. He couldn't recite anymore. Between the tangle of their lips, she said, Let's have a child. 14 later, Qing Yao and Jiayin had a lovely daughter. Sometimes he worried. What if one day that damned system comes back and tells me that I don't belong in this world and takes me away? What would happen to Qing Yao? Whenever she heard his thoughts, Qing Yao would always comfort him. Don't worry, husband. No matter where you go, I'll find you. What if the place I go isn't in this world? Then I'll wait for you here. I won't go anywhere. When you come back, I'll recognize you right away. The end.